It's got Toni Storm versus Dakota Kai. Does it really need anything else? Let's talk about some more NXT UK. What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check with part 2 of your NXT UK for November 7th, 2018. If you want to go back, check out my review of part 1, including that amazing Pete Dunne versus Danny Burch match for the NXT/WWE UK Championship. That'll be one video behind this one. As I said in that video, I'm going to do the two parts separately. This time we did them together. Last week, you guys can let me know which one you like. Which one you like better. The big faction of Wolfgang and the Coffee Brothers was the first thing we saw going into this episode. We see them entering the arena, and then we quickly cut to a video package of the Mae Young Classic final at Evolution. Congratulations, obviously, to Toni Storm. And then the first match of the night, you know, starting things off on a high note, is indeed Toni Storm, my heart's one true song for NXT UK, taking on Dakota Kai, aka Bayley Done Properly. Really cool. Maintaining the mutual respect between both of these women throughout. It was babyface and babyface match, and it didn't deviate from that. Like, there was one or two spots in the match where they stopped to nod at each other. They stopped, you know, not quite to do the Matt Hardy, that was wonderful, with the clapping and all that, but, you know, mid-match handshakes and mid-match stopping to let the crowd appreciate certain, how can I say this? Certain sequences, you know, when a big sequence goes down and then everybody pauses for a second and the crowd just appreciates the sequence. There was a lot of stuff like that. What a true babyface versus babyface, take the story out of it, just focus on the athleticism type match should be. It's collar and elbow tie up and a double kick and a double block, basically mirror imaging each other for a little bit. Double leg takedown, double stomp by Kai. Straight shots by Kai, running boot by Storm. Toni Storm stomps all over Kai, almost like the Orton stomp, but without the attitude that goes with it. Uppercut and an Indian Deathlock choke combination, which lasts a long time until Dakota Kai gets to the ropes. Toni Storm stomps the back, kicking the ribs. Both men trade forearms, and there's that wicked arching sort of scorpion kick by Kai. Double headbutt. They trade some forearms for a little bit. They both trade some slaps for a little bit. Two straight kicks to the face by Kai aren't as nice, I guess you could say. Snap German suplex by Storm in the corner uppercut. The pair of haluva kicks that Dakota Kai does. She misses the second one, but hits a pump kick to recover, which is a cool little spot. She goes for the haluva kick, hits it. Goes for the haluva kick again, misses it, immediately rebounds, hits the pump kick, and still takes Toni Storm down. So it's that... you know, you're showing that whole Dakota Kai student of the game, you know, if the left one don't get you, the right one will type of mentality, which I like, which from a pure babyface like Dakota Kai is, it's good because you can get sort of like that Bayley thing. You can sort of let that inner nerd come out a little bit. You know, you see her make you see somebody like Bayley make very obvious reference to the people that came before her. She talks about the Hardys a lot. She talks about Macho Man Randy Savage a lot, and it comes out. You can show that nerdiness in your preparedness, if that makes sense. Another snap German by Storm, double knees, Storm Zero. The Storm Zero is a fucking brilliant move, and it actually looks painful. Sorry. There are fireworks going on in my neighborhood right now, so if that, I don't know if that sound is carrying, but if it is, I apologize in advance. Instantly, my hometown has more pyro than the WWE budget. They ended it off, and it kind of still felt like we were in the Mae Young... Sorry, I don't know why I'm talking about fireworks all of a sudden. They ended it off, and it felt very Mae Young Classic-ish, because they had the handshake, you know, mutual signs of respect. They even had a hug afterwards. Toni Storm takes over the ring. Dakota Kai leaves her the ring, as you do for the victor. You know, she's posing, waving to the crowd. The crowd fucking loves Toni Storm, and so do I, so I can't really blame them. As Dakota Kai's going up the rampway, she gets jumped. We don't see who it is at first, but we do eventually see that it is Ginny, who we saw in a video package last week, aka a couple of hours ago, and she says this is her NXT, and then she says this is her NXT, which is something that people on NXT proper say a lot. But I think people are still getting used to saying that this is my NXT UK, because she says, this is my NXT UK. So, not the best. I mean, I like Ginny, the little bit that I've seen of her. it seems that Dakota Kai's lot in life is to be attacked from behind by people with MMA experience, the whole Shayna Baszler thing. They talked a lot about her dealings with Shayna Baszler on NXT proper during this match as well, which is great, except all you're doing is reminding people of when she got her ass kicked, which isn't so great. Speaking of somebody getting their ass kicked, we had the debut of Amir Jordan, who's really the whipping boy for this match, because he's going up against Zach Gibson. Now, I gotta say, it took me watching What Culture and the coverage of NXT UK by Adam Cleary to explain that the whole shoe thing is a soccer thing, apparently, and the chant that I couldn't quite make out was, "If you hate Gibson, take your shoes off." And that's literally what they're chanting as they wave their shoes at him. To me, it's bizarre. I'm not a soccer fan. I don't get those types of things, but at the same time, it sticks out as ultimately bizarre to me, but in a way that I like. It's kind of like, how can I say this? I'm going to say this and somebody's going to shoot me in the face. Crown Jewel was an absolutely bullshit show, but I can't say I hated it because I sat and had a couple of drinks and laughed my whole way through it because of how fucked up it was. So in that way, I liked it. Now, the whole shoe thing with Zach Gibson, and if you hate Gibson, take your shoes off, I don't get it. I won't pretend that I do, but it's bizarre enough to make me smile. Anyways, Amir Jordan, this is not how you want to make your debut, is it? Key lock by Gibson and a slam, a cravat and a front face lock, a takedown, a wrist lock, and an armbar, all by Gibson. Quick arm drag by Jordan and a crossbody. Back to the hammerlock DDT by Gibson, a forearm, some slaps, and a mudhole stomp. Posts the arm in the corner and then hits him with a forearm. Boot by Jordan and a top rope drop kick and a top rope crossbody. But a double chop by Gibson, a lariat, a helter-skelter, and the Shankly Gates get the win for Gibson. I like the Shankly Gates. It's an uncomfortable looking move. It's not... I say this about the UK guys all the time. It's not a pristine, pretty looking move. Oh, I've tied you up in a nice little pretzel. No, it's awkward. It looks like somebody's trying to lock in some other kind of move and not quite getting it, and the not quite right of it makes it look even more painful, which is great. And I mean, Amir Jordan didn't really get to do much, so I don't really have an opinion of the guy. Zach Gibson I'm really starting to like. He got up to cut a promo though, and it was cut and paste what he said a couple of weeks ago. He's Liverpool's #1, he's the world's #1, soon he's going to be NXT UK's #1. I won the tournament, I beat Noam Dar if things were going more in my favor, rah-de-rah-de-rah. And I'm not going to lie, halfway through his promo I kind of tuned out. Not that it wasn't good, not that it wasn't on point, but it was literally cut and paste from the first week of NXT UK, so I don't know what else you want me to say. But he's interrupted by Trent Seven, and Trent Seven just comes out and he's shaking his head. He says, "You must be delusional." He says, "I don't know what goes on in your shiny, sweaty head." Because, you know, Zach Gibson's bald, so we got to point that out. I wonder if anybody's talking to Shawn Michaels about his sweaty, shiny head. Anyways, which is great. UK fans, I love the UK fans. I'm going to come visit one day and watch some shows in the UK because you guys are fucking great. Immediately, shiny head chant, which is fucking awesome. Where were you when all this British scene kicked off? Did you even buy a ticket? No, you were watching the rest of us at home on your mom's laptop drinking tea, which is fine. And he even gives him credit. He says, "Yeah, you won the tournament, but you didn't get the job done the next day. The only thing you've successfully done is made all these people take their shoes off," which is fucking wonderful. He says, "You rip on all the guys in the back, but what about me? Are you gonna rip on me? How about we have a fight right now?" Gibson Bales and Nigel McGuinness going a little bit towards the heel commentator thing goes, "Oh, well, you know, he just had a match, and you know, okay, whatever." So we're gonna get Trent Seven versus Zach Gibson at some point, which is something that does not hurt my feelings whatsoever. We replay the Jordan Devlin debut from 2 weeks ago, which was really last week because they're doubling up these shows. And then we get Jordan Devlin versus Kenny Williams, and it's Kenny Williams' debut. And Kenny Williams kind of looks like Seth Green with long hair, and that's all I've got to say about that. Collar and elbow tie up, and Devlin works the arm, the wrist, the head, the shoulder, the whole fucking British, you know, joint manipulation bit that you guys know I love. Springboard arm drag by Williams, and a Uranagi by Devlin. Standing moonsault by Devlin, and a neck vice. Jawbreaker by Williams, a forearm to the back of the neck by Devlin. Forearm to the back of the neck by Devlin knocks Williams right off the ring. So you got this sharp shot right to the base of your skull, and you're falling off the apron, and you're falling to the floor. Nice little combination of things there. Suicide slide and a suicide dive by Williams. Top rope back elbow by Williams and a rolling face plant. The top rope back elbow was something you just have to go back and see the replay of, because it sounds simple, and it's just... He managed to turn falling backwards with his elbow into an almost missile-like maneuver, and I'm not overselling it. It wasn't the most fantastic thing I've ever seen, but it did catch my attention. Forearms by Williams in a weird sort of AA position into a side slam for the win for Devlin. I don't know how to describe the move, and they didn't tell us what the name of it is, but basically, if you started a move in the over-the-shoulder position, like an attitude adjustment is, and you ended the move in sort of Abyss's black hole slam, so, whatever you want to call that transition in between. I'm not going to pretend I know. We are going to get a huge announcement from Johnny Saint next week. Now, I wonder if that's going to be the women's title or the tag titles. Or, hey, maybe they're going to hit us up with something. I haven't read the spoilers in a while. I read the spoilers when the show first started just to see like where we were going with certain things. I haven't read the spoilers in a while. So the answer's probably out there. I mean, the answer's definitely floating around out there somewhere. But people are also saying that already they want to do NXT UK takeovers. Now, I don't know. I don't know how that works. You haven't even established your titles yet. The only title that you have established on your brand is the title that was established before your brand. They still don't know what they're calling Pete Dunne's championship, and this is something I need to drag home as well. I know it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because Pete Dunne is the face of that brand, but the graphic when he comes out to the ring says he's the NXT UK champion. The title itself says WWE UK champion. The commentators sort of bump back and forth. I don't think they really know what to say, and the announcers that are announcing him to the ring call him the WWE United Kingdom champion. Now, if you're going to introduce the NXT UK women's title and the NXT UK tag titles, then it needs to be the NXT UK championship, in my opinion. Anyways, that has nothing to do with our main event, which is a great six-man tag between Wolfgang and the Coffee Brothers taking on Mark Andrews, Flash Morgan Webster. I keep wanting to say Flash Gordon, but this isn't a comic book conversation. So Mark Andrews, Flash Morgan Webster. There we go. And what the hell is his name? Aiden Smith taking on Wolfgang and the Coffee Brothers. I already said that. Wolfgang and Flash start the match, and kicks by Flash and a shoulder tackle by Wolfgang. Forearms by... my good lord! It's late in the day, guys. My writing is absolutely fucking terrible. I do hope you excuse me. And the fireworks are a bit distracting, I'm not gonna lie. Snapmare into an airplane spin by Joe into a faceplant. Double team by the Coffees and a right hand by Smith. Lariat by Smith, and all six men rush the ring. The referee clears the ring. Smith and Mark reset the match as a one-on-one encounter. Both trade punches for a long time. Axe handle by Smith, a boot and a lariat by Mark. Body shots by Joe. Joe and Smith trade some punches for a while. Butterfly suplex by Joe. When Joe goes to do the butterfly suplex, he gets him up in the butterfly position, spins him a couple times. Airplane spin once again before he drops them with that butterfly suplex. It's good. The Coffee Brothers are big. Have I mentioned that? Stomps and knee drops by Mark into a neck vice. Straight jacket choke by Joe, posting the knee in the back. Arm drag by Andrews. Back elbow by Joe. Knee lift by Wolfgang into a crossface, into a lariat. Body blows by Mark into a front face lock. Chops by Andrews. Chops by Andrews that set Joe up for a stun dog millionaire. Series of strikes by Flash. Twisting senton and a boot. High knee by Smith. Boot. Gorilla press by Wolfgang. Double team by the Coffees and a super kick by Smith. An enziguri by Andrews and a moonsault tornado DDT by Andrews. Fucking pretty shit. I don't want to be one of those types of guys, because I really hate those types of guys, but I liked Mandrews when he was Mandrews back in Impact, and I really hoped that he was going to make his mark on 205 Live when we thought 205 Live was going to be a competitive brand. But everything he does is so fucking fluid, and he, with his charisma and everything, he has the crowd right in his hand just like this, and it's really, really good. Suicide dives by Smith and Andrews, but a lariat by Wolfgang takes out Flash. Head scissor by Flash, and inside out cannonball senton to the outside. Spear by Wolfgang, coming out of all that mess. A lariat by Joe, and Wolfgang and the Coffee Brothers get the win. This was the David versus Goliath storyline ×3. These guys are massive. Wolfgang, even before the heel turn, I told you guys after the first tournament when he showed up on NXT occasionally, I thought he was a really fun guy to watch. Now that you've got two other guys on either side of him of equal stature and equal style, Jesus fucking Christ. I do want to see, now that Wolfgang has turned heel, and I don't really know what Dave Mastiff is other than terrifying, I do want to see Wolfgang versus Dave Mastiff, just for that, for nothing else. Then the commentators are going to pull out the old cliche, we had to reinforce the ring, like they do every time like Mark Henry faces the Big Show or some bullshit like that, even though it's a ring that holds 30 people for the Royal Rumble. But that's besides the point. That's why the cliches are cliches, and that's why I roll my eyes and love / hate them at the same time. This was a lot of fun. I wouldn't have put the 6-man in the main event, I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't have had the 6-man go quite as long as it did, because it did drag at points. Great to see Toni Storm versus Dakota Kai, but coming from me, is that really any surprise? I do like NXT UK. I don't know how I feel. I know they're behind. Evolution, and the fact that they had to cancel the women's UK title match at Evolution because they're so far behind with getting us the taped episodes. I know that they are very far behind, and they're trying to make up for that. The doubling up of episodes is not the greatest thing in the world. It's twice as much content, it's twice as much stuff to talk about, twice as much chance to see the people that you want to see, because, you know, they're fewer and farther between on a 1-hour show. In the long run, I don't think doubling up the episodes is going to help them. If you wanted to double it up, maybe put one on a Tuesday, one on a Thursday, and leave me Wednesday for regular NXT, which we're going to talk about shortly, ironically enough. But that doesn't mean that the work being done in the ring and the show being shown to us on my television screen isn't a great show. It's a lot of fun. I will say part 1 was better with the whole Birch versus Dunn match, but as a whole, this was a lot of fun as well. Anyways, I've been Spaz, your YWC Reality Check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation, keep all of these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I will talk to each and every last one of you later, but for right now, I am tagging out. Bye, guys. More announcements regarding Fearless, Destiny Wrestling's first ever pay-per-view on Fight TV, happening November 25th. But before I get to those, I do want to congratulate Destiny Wrestling for their new announced working relationships with both Fight Club Pro and Blackcraft Wrestling. Both of those companies are doing combined shows with Destiny in the near future. I encourage you, especially if you're in the local area, to go check those out. I think the one with Fight Club Pro is happening in New York. The one with Blackcraft is actually happening in my backyard, which is always great. They've added another match to Fearless. It's going to be new Destiny talent Channing Decker taking on Teddy Hart. Now, obviously, that's in addition to the match that we already know about, which is interim Destiny champion Josh Alexander taking on Ray Phoenix and Rich Swann. This is building up to be a hell of a card. Destiny's growing. I'm happy for them. You guys should check them out, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.